Before we go, I want to talk about the vulnerability of U.S. forces in the region, because we've spoken individually about damaging strikes, the loss of that E-3, for instance, the deadly drone attack that killed those 7 service members early on. But there's also evidence that multiple radar sites that form part of the broader missile defense system in the region have been struck. Taken together, have U.S. forces shown themselves to be more vulnerable than the administration is letting on?
I think that's the case. I believe that Iran is getting intelligence from Russia, which is pinpointing these high-value assets, and then Iran is targeting them with drones and missiles. And some of them are leaking through the air defense systems and hitting these very high-value targets. And so U.S. forces are more vulnerable than we would like them to be. And if you put ground forces into, say, Karg Island, they're going to become a magnet for every drone and missile that Tehran can launch at them. So, we had best take our air defenses seriously and get more air defenses flowing to the region.
I'm merely making this point in that they're saying that the ability of Iran to launch strikes is so deteriorated. And yet, Iran continues to do things. For example, hitting this Saudi Arabia airbase and hitting that plane, that Sentry plane, very specifically in the tail area where some of the most sensitive equipment is, obviously precision.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so they had the intelligence wherever they were getting it from. So fine, maybe Russia. Then they had the ability to do it. So you've been on one of those planes in that area. Can you just tell us the significance of this?
This is huge, Aaron, because this is a surveillance plane. It's the Airborne Warning and Control System. And what it does is it provides basically radar coverage to a much greater range than you would otherwise have if you only had ground-based radars. So what that means is instead of seeing just, let's say, 100 miles out, you see 250 miles out. And of course, it depends on topography and atmospherics and things like that. But the key thing is it extends our ability to surveil the airspace. And that is crucial if you're doing anything, any type of military operation anywhere in the world.
And that plane is not easy to replace. I understand, it could cost up to $200 million to even replace it. We don't have a lot of them.
So actually, it costs more than that. To replace this plane, it costs about $700 million.
$700 million.
The insurance cost, if an insurance company were to come in and give you, a value for it, like for a wrecked car, it would be somewhere between $300 and $500 million. So this is significant. And what you're talking about here is, not only the aircraft itself, but the ability of the aircraft to perform its mission, which in addition to the radar piece, is also a command and control piece. So they can use the AWACS as a way to command forces on the sea, on the ground, and in the air.
Now, an Israeli oil refinery was struck by a missile today near the city of Haifa. Israeli officials say the missile was intercepted, but pieces of it still struck a storage facility that's located near the main base of the Israeli Navy. It was unclear if the missile was fired by Iran or by Hezbollah militants in Lebanon.
مطالبی که به ما منتقل شده، حالا تحت هر عنوانی که شما بخواید اسمش رو ببرید، 15 بندی یا کمتر و بیشتر، درخواستایی بسیار زیاده خواهانه و غیر واقع بینانه و غیر منطقی بوده. نشست‌هایی که پاکستان با کشورهای همسایه داره، خب چارچوبی است که خودشون تأسیس کردن، ما در این چارچوب مشارکتی نداشتیم. این که کشورهای منطقه، کشورهای همسایه دغدغه صلح و امنیت داشته باشن، خب امر مبارکی است. مواضع ما خیلی روشن هست، هر زمان که به جمع‌بندی برسیم به نحو مقتضی منعکس خواهیم کرد، به خاطر اینکه هم به خودمون اطمینان و اعتماد داریم، هم میدونیم که چی می‌خوایم.
The 15-point plan, they gave us most of the points. Why wouldn't they?
You make it sound like they made some concessions. Can you identify those?
Well, they're agreeing with us on the plan. I mean, we asked for 15 things, and for the most part, we're going to be asking for a couple of other things. And just to prove that they're serious, they gave us all these votes. When I talked about 4 days ago a present, I said they gave me a present, but I didn't think I was at liberty to say what it was. What it was 8 plus 2. It's 10 massive boatloads of oil. And today they gave us another present. They gave us 20 boatloads of oil. That starts being shipped tomorrow. We're having very good meetings, both directly and indirectly, and I think we're getting a lot of very important points.
Sir, were you caught
Who's paying for the cost of this war? Will those Arab countries step up to do just that?
Well, I think it's something the president would be quite interested in calling them to do. I won't get ahead of him on that, but certainly it's an idea that I know that he has and something that I think you'll hear more from him on.
播报新闻是我的日常，必须时刻保持妆容和皮肤的最佳状态。当来到人生中最重要的时刻，也是 KS 逆时奇迹帮助我轻松驾驭，闪闪发光。KS 逆时奇迹活肤露全效精华、精华霜，多达5种 EGF 6大冻龄关键成分，保湿效果让我非常满意，小细纹也不再困扰我。我就是我自己的最佳女主角 ，KS 让我从容自信，光彩动人。我是我人生中的大女主，我的最爱我做主。KS 逆时奇迹系列热卖中，下单请上快点购，透过中天新闻网 App 下单立减50，或输入 CTI 推荐码有额外折扣。